Okay, today we're going to review one-step and two-step equations, some with rational numbers such as fractions and some with just your rational numbers that are whole numbers or integers. So the fractions are going to be something that hopefully you reviewed last week that will help you with this lesson. So let's just do a quick review. We won't spend a lot of time on these because this is something that you did last year in pre-algebra. So number 1 says m plus 12 equals 10. Now remember that when we do these, an equation, what you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other side of the equation as well. And I'm pretty much a stickler for you showing your work on both sides in order to get credit. So start to get in the habit of showing work like I am. Once you get better at it, and as you move into Algebra 2 and pre-calculus and such, they will probably not require you to show as much work, but this year we're going to continue to show the work. So we know that we've got a 12 that we need to get rid of, so we're going to subtract 12, and when we subtract it, we must subtract it from both sides. And so we get m equals negative 2, because 10 minus 12 is negative 2. Number 2, we have negative 2 equals g minus 9. This time we're subtracting 9, so we're going to add 9 to both sides. We'll just show our work simply like this. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7, so 7 equals g. And it's okay to leave the variable on that side. Number 3 is negative 7 times y equals negative 91, or negative 7y equals negative 91. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 7 in order to solve this. We know that negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1, so that leaves us with y equals 13. Y equals 13. Because negative divided by a negative, as you know, is a positive. Number 4, we have a multiplication equation, or a division equation. A divided by 9 equals negative 4. In order to solve this one, we have to multiply both sides by the 9 because we want to get a by itself. So we're going to multiply this side by 9 and this side by 9. When I do that, the 9s are going to cancel, leave me with a equals negative 36. Okay, next we're going to look at some equations with fractions. And in order to get rid of a fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, we've talked about reciprocals before, and you talked about those last year. So if I were going to try to get rid of this 2/3, I would multiply by the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3 over 2. So I'm going to multiply by both sides by 3 over 2, or the reciprocal of 2/3. That causes these to cancel out, and it leaves us with x equals 10 times 3 is 30, and 1 times 2 is 2, so x equals 15 when I simplify that fraction. Number 6. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Hopefully you know at this point that the reciprocal of 4/9 is going to be 9 over 4. We just flip it upside down. And when we do that, it cancels out. We get w equals negative 72. Negative 8 times 9 over 4. And negative 72 over 4 is going to be w equals negative 18 when you simplify that fraction. Number 7, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 6 over 5, and the reciprocal of negative 6 over 5 is negative 5 over 6. That cancels and leaves us with k on this side. And this time, let's just try to do this work in our head. So we have 12 times negative 5 is negative 60, and negative 60 divided by 6 is negative 10. If you need to show the work, you can show it to the side when you multiply straight across. And remember that 12 is the same as 12 over 1, so negative 60 over 6, and that is simplifying to negative 10. Number 8, the reciprocal of negative 1/2 is negative 2 over 1. So we'll multiply both sides by negative 2 over 1, and I do want you to show that work. M is going to be negative 9 times negative 2 is positive 18. Positive 18 over 1 is just going to be 18. So hopefully after the review we did last week on the adding fractions and getting the common denominator, and now this short review on multiplying fractions by multiplying the numerators and then multiplying the denominators and simplifying will help you to work better with the fractions that we need to work with. Let's move on to two-step equations. To solve a two-step equation, we're always going to undo the addition and subtraction first, meaning we're going to remove our constant term, the term without a variable. And then we're going to undo the multiplication and division to remove the coefficient, or the number that comes before the variable. I think you should probably highlight these two terms, constant term and coefficient. Those are two things that you need to know. Remember that the constant term is the term without a variable. And the coefficient is the number before a variable. So you can just write those in there to help you remember those definitions. Okay, let's take a look at number 9. Number 9 says 6x plus 8 equals 50. So we're going to follow our rules and we're going to undo our addition or subtraction first. That means we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. That leaves us with 6x equals 42. And then second, we're going to undo the multiplication or division. Because we are multiplying, we're going to divide both sides by 6, and we get x equals 7. For number 11, we're going to undo the addition or subtraction first. We're going to subtract 9 from both sides. We get 4 equals negative 4x. Then we need to divide both sides by negative 4. And we get negative 1 equals x. You can always go back and substitute these answers in to see if you got the correct response or correct answer. Number 13. Once again, we're going to follow our rules. We're going to undo the addition or subtraction first by adding 7 to both sides. That leaves us with x over 2 equals 16. And now we have x divided by 2 equals 16, so we're going to multiply both sides by 2 to undo our division. These terms are going to cancel out and leave us with x equals 32. Number 15, undo addition and subtraction by subtracting 22 from both sides. So that leaves us with 3/5 x equals 6. And then, as we showed above, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. These cancel out. It leaves us with x equals 6 times 5 is 30, divided by 3 is 10. So take a few minutes, pause the video, and go ahead and work the problems 10, 12, 14, and 16. When you come back, I'll show you the answers. I'm not going to show you how to work them, but I'll show you the answers to see if you got them correct, and then we can discuss how to work the problems in class tomorrow if you have a question. Okay, now that you've worked the practice problems, number 10, the answer is going to be x equals 8. For number 12, you get x equals negative 9. For number 14, you get negative 15 equals x. And for number 16, you should have gotten x equals 24. So check through those. If you didn't get the correct answer, go back and try to rework them again, see if you can get that answer, and then if not, we'll discuss what to do to work those problems correctly tomorrow in class.